So, back in the day, early humans were all about hunting and gathering. Basically, nature's version of grocery shopping. Except all the aisles were forests, and the produce didn't always want to be caught. It wasn't exactly a stroll through the park either. Sometimes hunting means days of tracking a single animal just to feed the group. Right, and survival wasn't just about luck or being at the right place at the right time. Our ancestors had to be experts in their surroundings. They needed to know what plants were edible, how to avoid poisonous ones, and the best seasons for gathering. Tracking animals, well, that was a whole nother level. Knowing their patterns, their habits, it was like understanding the ultimate puzzle for survival. Plus, it wasn't a solo gig. No one was out there trying to be a lone wolf. If someone found a stash of food, it was shared. This wasn't just kindness, it was a survival strategy. The group worked together because back then, teamwork wasn't just a good idea. It was how you stayed alive. I remember how they role play, whether it was hunting, gathering, or even making tools. And then, about 10,000 years ago, human had this big aha moment. What if instead of chasing food, we can make it come to us? Entering agriculture. People started to experiment with growing crops and taming animals. It didn't happen overnight, but eventually they figured out how to farm, which was a total game changer. It meant no more wandering for food. They could settle down in one place. Settling down didn't just make life easier, it made life much better. People could produce way more food than they needed, which meant they could support bigger families, bigger communities, and eventually, whole village. This was the first time humans started to build permanent homes, and with more stability came more opportunities to think beyond just surviving. With all that extra food, there was suddenly room for trade. People started to barter, like, I'll give you grain for that new tool, or I'll trade you some livestock for pottery. This bartering wasn't just for survival, it was about building relationships between groups. Trading became the backbone of these early communities, laying the groundwork for the first markets. These early markets weren't just about getting stuff you didn't have, it was also about connecting. Every time two groups came together to trade, they weren't just exchanging goods, they were exchanging ideas, skills, and even pieces of their cultures. This intersection helped civilizations to evolve. The spread of knowledge and innovation through the trade was just as important as the good being swapped. And as trade grew, so did specialization. Some people became experts in specific crafts, whether it was making tools, pottery, or farming. Specialization allowed people to focus on what they did the best, which meant they could produce high quality goods. This wasn't just about surviving anymore, this was about thriving. It pushed innovation forward, leading to the development of new technologies and crafts that advanced ancient economies. So, when we look at the ancient economies, we're really seeing the root of the modern society. These early economic changes weren't simple at all. They were the foundation of everything that came after trade, agriculture, specialization, all of it paved the way for larger cities, more advanced technology, and eventually the global economy we have today. So, when we look at the ancient economies,